It comes most often at night, a spectral presence in the quiet hours. That niggling memory, persistent and insidious, gnawing in some forgotten corner of your mind like a rodent tirelessly chewing through hidden drywall. It isn't a pleasant recollection, but an echo of some brightly lit funland or a world populated by crude, unsettling puppets. A memory of a television show you would watch, seated cross-legged, bathed in its flickering glow. You gave it the fixed, enthusiastic attention only a child can muster, attention you now wish you hadn't given so freely. For there is something fundamentally wrong about that show. Its discordant music, grotesque characters, opaque motivations, and warped storylines seemed, looking back, altogether too malevolent for a child's mind. You tried desperately to block the memory out, yet in the dark recesses of your mind, most often when the world is silent, the puppet's fixed, maniacal grin persists, relentlessly smiling. This pervasive, unsettling memory is not unique, but part of a shared nightmare known as Cove, a popular creepypasta. It revolves around a fictional television series, conjured from distorted recollections of posters on a nostalgia forum. As they share fragmented memories, a terrifying pattern emerges. The things they collectively remember become increasingly sinister, painting a picture of characters clearly unsuitable for children's viewing. These are not friendly faces. Notable examples include the Laughingstock, a grotesque pirate ship unsettlingly alive, its bow a huge, cavernous mouth perpetually devouring the sea. Then Horus Horrible, a one-eyed character with unnervingly large teeth. Most terrifyingly, a skeleton known as the Skin Taker, remembered for wearing the flayed flesh of children over his naked bones. This is hardly Sesame Street. This is a playground built from pure, unadulterated nightmare. The Net Nostalgia Forum under Television Local held the initial spark. Skyshale 033 hesitantly posted, Cove Local Kids Show. The message began, does anyone remember this kids show? It was called Cove, and I must have been 6 or 7. There was a palpable sense of isolation, a feeling of being alone with an elusive memory. I never found reference to it anywhere, so I think it was on a local station around 1971 or 1972. I lived in Ironton. The details were vague, the station unknown, but the broadcast time stuck out. A weird time like 4:00 p.m. An anomaly, a show existing on the fringes of memory, broadcast during an odd, liminal hour, leaving Skyshale 033 to wonder if it was real or merely a child's imagination. The digital silence around the show had been deafening until now. Then a flicker of recognition. Mike Painter 65 responded, "It seems really familiar to me. I grew up outside of Ashland and was 9 as old in 72. Cove, was it about pirates? I remember a pirate marionette at the mouth of a cave talking to a little girl." Relief, mixed with unease, washed over Skyshale 033. Yes, okay, I'm not crazy. The shared memory, once solitary, took on terrifying weight. The pirate marionette was Pirate Percy, and his recollection brought a shiver. I was always kind of scared of him. Skyshale 033 admitted Percy wasn't just a puppet, he was a patchwork horror, built from parts of other dolls, real low budget. His most unnerving feature was his head. An old porcelain baby doll, looked like an antique that didn't belong on the body. The smooth, innocent, yet cracked and ancient face on a crude pirate body. A grotesque juxtaposition that planted a seed of dread. Now blossoming into anxiety, the thread, resurrected, gained another voice. Jaren 2005. I know exactly what show you mean, Skyshale. Jaren provided concrete details. Cove ran for only a couple months in 71, not 72. I was 12 and I watched it a few times with my brother. The show's short, ephemeral run made its lingering impact unsettling. Jaren even recalled the obscure channel. It was Channel 58. A strange after-news ritual, a brief window into a world that felt increasingly wrong. It took place in Candle Cove, and it was about a little girl who imagined herself to be friends with pirates. The pirate ship was called the Laughingstock, and Pirate Percy wasn't a very good pirate because he got scared too easily. And underlying it all, a persistent, unnerving calliope music. The girl's name, Janice, another piece of the fragmented, disturbing puzzle falling into place. The mention of Laughingstock triggered a torrent of unsettling details for Skyshale 033. Thank you, Jaren. Memories flooded back when you mentioned the Laughingstock and Channel 58. The ship itself was a malevolent entity. I remember the bow of the ship was a wooden smiling face with the lower jaw submerged. This wasn't a friendly grin. It was a fixed, unsettling rictus, perpetually consuming the ocean. It looked like it was swallowing the sea, a terrifying image of endless, silent consumption. Its voice was an auditory nightmare. That awful Edwin voice and laugh, a high-pitched, maniacal cackle that grated on nerves. The cheap production value amplified the creepiness, jarring when they switched from the wooden plastic model to the foam puppet version of the head that talked. This crude transformation made the Laughingstock feel more alien, a poorly constructed facade barely containing a hungry, lurking malevolence. The collective memory plunged deeper into the show's most chilling moments. Mike Painter 65, with dark humor, prompted, "Haha, I remember now too. Do you remember this part, Skyshale? You have to go inside." The simple phrase, delivered in the Laughingstock's grotesque voice, sent a shiver down Skyshale 033's spine. Ugh, Mike, I got a chill reading that. Yes, I remember. It was the ship's insidious command to the timid pirate Percy. He hesitated before entering spooky place, like a dark cave. The camera work itself was part of the terror, an unnerving, slow pushing on the Laughingstock's distorted face with each drawn-out syllable. You have to go inside. The close-up revealed its true horror, with his two eyes askew and that flopping foam jaw and the fishing line that opened and closed it. The cheapness wasn't comforting. It made it more disturbing, a crude horror show performed with visible strings. Ugh, it just looked so cheap and awful, a testament to its sinister power. The conversation turned to antagonists. Skyshale 033 posed, "You guys remember the villain? He had a face that was just a handlebar mustache above really tall, narrow teeth." Kevin Hart, younger then, confessed, "I honestly thought the villain was Pirate Percy. I was about 5 when this show was on. Nightmare fuel." The innocent hero, distorted by fear, becoming the monster, a testament to the show's pervasive dread. Jaren 2005 corrected. It wasn't the villain, the puppet with the mustache. That was the villain's sidekick, Horus Horrible. Even the sidekick's description was unsettling, adding to the grotesque gallery. He had a monocle too, but it was on top of the mustache. I used to think that meant he had only one eye. The image of a monocle absurdly perched on a handlebar mustache, above unnaturally tall, narrow teeth, painted a creature both comical and deeply disturbing, a precursor to the true terror. Horus Horrible, a mere henchman, was already enough to haunt a child's dreams, but Horus Horrible was just a prelude. Jaren 2005 next revelation sent a collective chill. But yeah, the villain was another marionette, the Skin Taker. I can't believe what they let us watch back then. The name itself was a visceral punch. Kevin Hart's response was immediate and visceral. Jesus H. Christ, the Skin Taker. What kind of a kid's show were we watching? I seriously could not look at the screen when the Skin Taker showed up. Nightmare fuel, indeed. The Skin Taker's entrance was pure terror. He just descended out of nowhere on his strings, just a dirty skeleton wearing that brown top hat and cape. A skeletal puppet, dangling from unseen threads, appearing as if from the very air, its presence an immediate threat. His features were exaggerated for horror, and his glass eyes that were too big for his skull. Christ almighty. Those oversized, vacant glass eyes, staring from a bare, bone-white skull, were burned into minds, defying the innocence of children's programming. This was not merely a villain. This was primal fear. The skin taker's image, once conjured, brought forth even more gruesome details. Skyshield 033 questioned, wasn't his top hat and cloak all sewn up crazily? Was that supposed to be children's skin? The unspoken horror hung heavy. Mike Painter 65 confirmed, yeah, I think so. The thought of a puppet's attire crudely fashioned from such grotesque material intensified revulsion. But the skin taker's most terrifying feature was his mouth. Remember, his mouth didn't open and close, his jaw just slid back and forth. This unnatural, grinding motion was a deliberate instrument of terror. Mike Painter 65 recounted a specific, horrifying exchange. I remember the little girl said, "Why does your mouth move like that?" And the skin taker didn't look at the girl but at the camera and said, "To grind your skin." A direct, personal threat, delivered with chilling calm, not to the character, but to the innocent child watching. An invasion of the viewer's safe space, a promise of unspeakable horror leaving an indelible mark. The shared memories led Skyshield 033 to confess a recurring, agonizing nightmare. I'm so relieved that other people remember this terrible show. They typed, relief tinged with trauma. I used to have this awful memory, a bad dream where the opening jingle ended, the show faded in from black, and all the characters were there, but the camera was just cutting to each of their faces, and they were just screaming, and the puppets and marionettes were flailing spastically, and just all screaming. The dream was a cacophony of terror, a relentless assault. Janice, the protagonist, was trapped. The girl was just moaning and crying like she had been through hours of this. It wasn't narrative, it was pure suffering, broadcast into the subconscious. The impact was profound. I woke up many times from that nightmare. I used to wet the bed when I had it. The dream was deeply traumatic, a vivid testament to the show's insidious power over young minds. Then came the chilling, dreadful confirmation. Kevin Hart shattered Skyshield 033 belief it was merely a dream. I don't think that was a dream. I remember that. I remember that was an episode. Skyshield 033 denial was swift. No, not possible. There was no plot or anything. I mean literally just standing in place crying and screaming for the whole show. The absurdity seemed impossible. Yet, Kevin Hart insisted. Maybe I'm manufacturing the memory because you said that, but I swear to God I remember seeing what you described. They just screamed. The doubt festered. Jaren 2005 delivered the final blow. Oh God, yes, the little girl, Janice. I remember seeing her shake, and the skin taker screaming through his gnashing teeth, his jaw careening so wildly I thought it would come off its wire hinges. The collective memory was horrifyingly real. I turned it off, and it was the last time I watched. I ran to tell my brother, and we didn't have the courage to turn it back on. A boundary crossed, leaving them scarred. The climax arrived with Mike Painter 65 devastating post. I visited my mom today at the nursing home, he began, asking if she remembered Candle Cove. Her response was not confirmation, but bewildered inquiry. She said she was surprised I could remember that, and I asked why. The reason was a gut punch. Because I used to think it was so strange that you said, "I'm gonna go watch Candle Cove now, Mom," and then you would tune the TV to static and just watch dead air for 30 minutes. You had a big imagination with your little pirate show. The truth was far more horrifying than any puppet. Candle Cove, the show that haunted their childhoods, had never existed on air. It was a collective hallucination, a shared delusion, broadcast not through television waves, but directly into impressionable minds, leaving them to watch static and conjure their own horrors. The implications were staggering, a chilling testament to the fragility of reality and the terrifying power of imagination, or something far more sinister. The unsettling narrative of Candle Cove, having concluded its terrifying forum exchange, now unfolds into its meta-origins. Unlike most creepypastas, which organically evolve from myriad contributions, Candle Cove boasts a singular, deliberate genesis. This intricate web of shared delusion can be traced back to a single author, Kris Straub, who initially presented the entire story as a finished, meticulously crafted piece on Ica Falls on March 15, 2009. While Straub did not officially approve subsequent adaptations, the fiction mutated into new forms. Its meta-quality is fascinating. Inspired by the creepypasta genre, it masterfully imitated the collective narrative formation it sought to emulate. Candle Cove is brilliantly written in an epistolary form, where plot is revealed through character correspondence. Straub ingeniously updated this structure, crafting his story not as a linear narrative, but as an authentic, chilling exchange between posters on the Net Nostalgia Forum, making the reader a voyeur to the unfolding horror. Straub's brilliance lay in framing the story through distinct voices, making contributors seem genuinely disturbed as they unearthed suppressed memories. Scholars link Candle Cove's success to its extraordinary verisimilitude, its ability to pretend very well, convincing unwitting readers they were witnessing a real interaction. This compelling illusion propelled its rapid spread and adoption as an authentic creepypasta, often without Straub's approval. Its inherent credibility allowed readers to suspend disbelief, fostering an unapproved evolution where new readers posted fictional recollections, extending details. Its viral spread on countless forums maintained this verisimilitude, posted to creepypasta.com in June 2009. It quickly spawned YouTube videos and discussions on 4chan, Reddit, and horror forums. This evolution even led to a Candle Cove wiki, 2011, detailing episodes and characters, and analyzing a fictional 1767 novel as its inspiration. The meta-evolution came full circle when Candle Cove was selected for Sci-Fi's Channel Zero series, transforming the fictional show into an actual one. Straub acknowledged this organic group ownership serves the mythos way more than me being a litigious dick about it, a humble recognition of his creation's terrifying, self-sustaining life.